If you have not watched the previous video, please watch it first. The link is available in the description or in the I button. Okay, welcome to another explainer. Today, we're taking a look at financial independence, but not just as some dry math problem. No, we're treating it like a high-stakes, cinematic test of your mental fortitude. Because look, even if you've got all the financial literacy in the world, even if you perfectly understand cash flow, assets, and liabilities down to a science, you're still going to face a pretty grueling mental obstacle course. To achieve real wealth, you've literally got to defeat 5 distinct psychological mini-bosses. And today, we're going to learn exactly how to beat every single one of them. Okay, let's dive into this definitive roadmap. We've got 5 bosses: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. We are going to methodically knock down each one of these roadblocks using the exact same strategies the rich use.
All right, up first, roadblock number 1, overcoming fear, and specifically, handling failure.
Now everyone, and I mean literally everyone, even the richest investors on the planet, has a fear of losing money. That's just human nature. But it's how you handle that fear that absolutely dictates your success. On one hand, you've got the safe player. They're terrified of losing money, so they play it completely safe. And you know what? By avoiding all risk, they pretty much guarantee they'll never truly win big. But on the flip side, we have what the source calls the Texas attitude. These folks, they hate losing too, but they use failure as fuel. To go big, you've got to accept the possibility of a spectacular failure. It's exactly like NFL Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton said, winning means being unafraid to lose. If you really want to understand this mindset, just look at the Alamo. I mean, historically, the Alamo was a catastrophic military defeat. They got completely wiped out. But how did Texans handle that devastating failure? They didn't bury it. They shouted, "Remember the Alamo." They took this massive loss and transformed it into a rallying cry, a permanent inspiration, and, ironically, a multi-million-dollar tourist destination. That's the secret right there. You overcome fear by knowing that you can take a financial hit and totally spin it into a massive win. Moving on to roadblock number 2, defeating cynicism, which is really all about ignoring the noise. So, cynicism. It's basically this unchecked doubt that completely blinds us to real opportunities. Have you ever caught yourself letting your inner Chicken Little run around screaming that the sky is falling? We let our doubts paralyze us with all these what-if scenarios. Like, what if the economy crashes literally the day after I invest? Or we listen to well-meaning friends who chime in with, well, if it's such a great idea, why hasn't someone else done it already? Here's the truth. While the cynics are busy criticizing, the winners are busy analyzing. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of tuning out the noise. Look at Colonel Harlan Sanders. Picture this. He's 66 years old, he just lost his business, and he's scraping by on a tiny Social Security check. He takes his fried chicken recipe on the road and faces, wait for it, 1,009 rejections. 1,009 people looked at him and said no. He could have so easily let cynicism and doubt just stop him in his tracks right then and there. But instead, he tuned out that extreme rejection, pushed through all that noise, and became a multimillionaire at an age when most people are just giving up. Which brings us to roadblock number 3, curing laziness and finding your underlying desire. You know, laziness often puts on a disguise. It shows up as being too busy to actually sit down and address your financial problems. And the single most common symptom of this mental laziness is that definitive little statement, "I can't afford it." When you say that, boom, your brain just shuts down. It's off the hook. It doesn't have to do any more work. But when you swap that out for the open-ended question, "How can I afford it?" something kind of magical happens. You force your mind to wake up. You force it to seek out creative financial solutions, opening up a whole world of possibilities instead of just surrendering to helplessness. So to actually cure laziness, you need to challenge yourself with a question like, what would my life be like if I never had to work again? The source makes a really fascinating argument here. They say the cure to laziness is actually a healthy dose of desire, or honestly what you might even call a little bit of greed. Asking yourself, what's in it for me, isn't necessarily a bad thing at all. It's the spark. It conquers that mental laziness, forces you to innovate, and drives genuine, tangible progress in your financial life.
All right, on to the 4th obstacle, building wealthy habits, and specifically, the rule to pay yourself first. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it shows how financial literacy means absolutely nothing without the self-discipline to manage your cash flow. There is just a profound difference in the daily habits of the rich versus the poor. Most people, they have the habit of paying everyone else first. They get their paycheck, they pay the landlord, the credit card company, the tax man, and then, if there happens to be anything left over, they save it. But the wealthy, they've built the habit of paying themselves first. They allocate money straight to their asset column before they pay their monthly expenses. Paying yourself first acts exactly like lifting weights at the gym. It builds your mental money muscles and forces you to become financially strong.
Okay, but how do you actually do this in the real world without getting into huge trouble? First off, obviously avoid large consumer debt to begin with. Keep your personal expenses low. But here is the real secret weapon. When you inevitably come up short one month, do not, I repeat, do not dip into your savings. Instead, let the pressure from your creditors build up a little. That pressure is highly motivating. When the bill collectors start calling, your financial genius is essentially forced to kick into high gear to generate new, creative streams of wealth so you can pay those bills. You're literally using that pressure to get smarter and much more active with your money.
And that brings us to our fifth and final mini-boss, conquering arrogance and learning to listen.
You see this all the time. People using a massive ego to mask their underlying financial ignorance. So the crucial point here is captured perfectly in this quote. What I know makes me money. What I don't know loses me money. Whenever you act arrogantly and just assume that what you don't know isn't important, you are practically guaranteeing yourself a financial loss. Because let's face it, ignorance isn't bliss when it comes to wealth. Ignorance is incredibly expensive.
The solution here is super simple, but yeah, it requires a bit of humility. If you want to be a truly intelligent investor, you have to realize that you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a very good reason. You need to listen way more than you speak. Admit what you don't know and do it without shame. Then eagerly absorb new ideas. Go actively seek out an expert or sit down and read a book on the subject. Curing your own blind spots is the ultimate key to conquering this final mental obstacle. So, think about it. Which of these 5 mental mini-bosses is secretly holding you back from the wealth you actually deserve? It's time to identify your blind spots, crush this obstacle course, and take control of your financial future. Stay tuned for the next video.